Have you ever felt like you're playing a game you don't know the rules to? Like everyone else got a manual for life, but yours got lost in the mail? You see other men who seem to have it all figured out, the confidence, the success, the inner peace, and you can't help but wonder, what's their secret? What's the cheat code? The truth is, there are cheat codes. Not in the way you might think, not shortcuts to bypass the hard work, but powerful principles, ancient secrets that, once understood and applied, can fundamentally change the way you experience the world. These are the codes that 80% of men are not using, the codes that separate the boys from the men, the amateurs from the masters. Today, we're diving deep into 6 of these cheat codes. These aren't about manipulation or trickery. They're about mastering the one thing you have complete control over, yourself. They are about unlocking the latent power that resides within you, a power that has been recognized and cultivated by the greatest men in history, from emperors to philosophers, from warriors to inventors. These are the codes that will allow you to build a life of purpose, resilience, and profound fulfillment. So if you're ready to stop playing on hard mode and start living by a different set of rules, then let's begin. And if you stay with me until the end, I will share with you an ancient story about a master archer who learned that true skill is not what it seems. The first and most fundamental cheat code is understanding and harnessing the power of your mind. Your mind is the command center of your reality. It's the lens through which you perceive everything. Change the lens, and you change the world. Most men are slaves to their minds. They are tossed about by every fleeting thought, every reactive emotion, every external circumstance. They believe their thoughts are reality, that their feelings are facts. But the man who understands this first cheat code knows the truth. Your thoughts are not you, and you have the power to choose which ones you entertain. So how do you do this? It starts with awareness. You must become an observer of your own thoughts. Imagine you are sitting on the bank of a river, and your thoughts are the leaves and twigs floating by. You don't have to jump into the river and grab onto every thought. You can simply watch them pass. This practice, often called mindfulness or meditation, is the first step to reclaiming your mental sovereignty. When a negative thought arises, I'm not good enough, I can't do this, this is too hard, you don't have to accept it as truth. You can simply acknowledge it. There's that thought again, and let it go. The next step is to consciously choose your thoughts. This is not about positive thinking in the naive sense of simply repeating affirmations while ignoring reality. It's about actively choosing to focus on what is within your control and letting go of what is not. It's about choosing to see challenges as opportunities, setbacks as lessons, and insults as the mere opinions of others. As another great Stoic, Epictetus, said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Think of your mind as a garden. If you let the weeds of negativity, self-doubt, and fear grow unchecked, they will soon choke out all the beautiful flowers of potential. But if you diligently tend to your garden, pulling the weeds and planting the seeds of courage, discipline, and wisdom, you will cultivate a mind that is a source of strength and resilience, not weakness and despair. This is the first and most important cheat code, because without it, none of the others can be truly unlocked. Master your mind, and you will master your life. The second cheat code is to become an alchemist of your emotions. Just as the alchemists of old sought to turn lead into gold, the modern man of wisdom seeks to transmute his base emotions into something of value. Society has taught men to do one of two things with their emotions: suppress them or be consumed by them. We are told to man up, to bottle up our feelings, to show no weakness. Or on the other extreme, we are encouraged to be slaves to our passions, to act on every whim and impulse. Both paths lead to ruin. The man who understands this second cheat code walks a different path. He understands that emotions are not good or bad. They are simply energy. They are signals from our inner world, and they contain valuable information. Anger can be a signal that a boundary has been crossed. Fear can be a signal that we are outside our comfort zone, on the verge of growth. Sadness can be a signal that we have lost something we value. The key is not to ignore these signals, but to learn to read them, to understand them, and to use the energy they provide in a constructive way. The Stoics had a powerful concept for this: prohairesis. It's the faculty of choice, the ability to choose our response to any given situation. When you feel a surge of anger, you have a choice. You can lash out, say something you'll regret, and escalate the situation. Or you can pause, take a breath, and ask yourself, what is this anger telling me? What is the most constructive way to respond to this situation? This pause, this moment of conscious choice, is where your power lies. The great inventor, Nikola Tesla, once said, "I don't care that they stole my idea. I care that they don't have any of their own." This is the mindset of an emotional alchemist. He is not perturbed by the actions of others because he understands that his emotional state is his own responsibility. He does not give others the power to control how he feels. To become an alchemist of emotion, you must first develop emotional literacy. You must learn to identify and name your feelings. Instead of just saying, "I feel bad," ask yourself, is it sadness? Is it frustration? Is it disappointment? The more precise you can be, the more power you have over the emotion. Once you have identified the emotion, you can then begin to investigate its source. What thought or belief is giving rise to this feeling? Is that thought or belief true? Is it helpful? The next step is to learn to sit with your emotions. Don't run from them. Don't distract yourself. Don't numb them with alcohol or entertainment. Simply allow yourself to feel them without judgment. This is not easy, but it is essential. When you can sit with your discomfort, you rob it of its power over you. You realize that you are not your emotions. You are the one who is aware of them. Finally, you can choose how to channel the energy of the emotion. Anger can be channeled into a productive workout, a passionate creative project, or a courageous conversation. Fear can be channeled into preparation, into learning a new skill, into taking a calculated risk. Sadness can be channeled into art, into connecting with others, into a deeper appreciation for the beauty of life. This is the art of emotional alchemy. It is the second cheat code that will transform your inner world from a battlefield into a source of power and wisdom. The third cheat code is to become the architect of your own discipline. In a world of instant gratification and endless distraction, discipline is a superpower. It is the bridge between your goals and your accomplishments. It is the ability to do what you need to do, even when you don't feel like doing it. Most men wait for motivation to strike. They believe that they need to feel inspired before they can take action. But the man who understands this third cheat code knows that motivation is a fickle mistress. Discipline, on the other hand, is a loyal friend. The ancient Greek philosopher, Aristotle, taught that excellence is not an act, but a habit. He said, "We are what we repeatedly do." Excellence, then, is not an act, but a habit. This is the foundation of the third cheat code. It's not about grand, heroic gestures of willpower. It's about building small, consistent habits that, over time, compound into massive results. Think of yourself as an architect. You are designing the structure of your life. Every habit, every routine, every system you put in place is a brick in that structure. A weak foundation of poor habits will lead to a life that crumbles under the slightest pressure. A strong foundation of disciplined habits will lead to a life that can withstand any storm. So how do you become the architect of your discipline? It starts with clarity. You must know what you want to build. What are your goals? What is your vision for your life? Without a clear blueprint, you will be laying bricks at random. Once you have your vision, you can begin to break it down into smaller, actionable steps. What are the daily and weekly habits that will move you closer to your goals? The key is to start small. Don't try to overhaul your entire life overnight. Pick one or two key habits and focus on them until they become automatic. If you want to get in shape, don't commit to working out for 2 hours every day. Start with 10 minutes of exercise. If you want to write a book, don't try to write a chapter a day. Start with 1 page or even 1 paragraph. The goal is to build momentum, to get the flywheel of discipline turning. Another powerful tool is to create systems that make discipline easier. If you want to eat healthier, don't rely on willpower to resist the junk food in your pantry. Get rid of it. If you want to wake up earlier, put your alarm clock on the other side of the room so you have to get out of bed to turn it off. As the author James Clear says in his book, Atomic Habits, you do not rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. Finally, you must embrace the discomfort. Discipline is not always easy. There will be days when you don't feel like it. There will be times when you want to quit. This is where your character is forged. This is where you separate yourself from the 80% of men who are slaves to their feelings. The man of discipline does not ask himself, "Do I feel like it?" He asks himself, "Is this what I said I was going to do?" And then he does it. The Roman statesman and philosopher Cicero once said, "The life of the dead is placed in the memory of the living." The disciplined man lives a life worth remembering. He is not a passive spectator in his own life. He is the architect, the builder, the creator of his own destiny. This is the third cheat code, the one that will turn your dreams into reality. The fourth cheat code is to become a sage of silence. In a world that is constantly screaming for your attention, a world of endless noise and chatter, silence is a rare and precious commodity. It is a source of power, clarity, and profound wisdom. Most men are afraid of silence. They feel the need to fill every empty space with words, with noise, with distraction. They talk when they should listen, they speak when they have nothing to say, and they mistake verbosity for wisdom. But the man who understands this fourth cheat code knows that true power lies not in what you say, but in what you don't say. The ancient Greek philosopher Zeno of Citium, the founder of Stoicism, famously said, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so we should listen more than we say." The simple yet profound statement is the key to unlocking the fourth cheat code. The man who talks constantly is a man who is not listening. He is not learning. He is not observing. He is trapped in the echo chamber of his own mind. The man who cultivates silence, on the other hand, is a man who is open to the world. He is a sponge for knowledge, a keen observer of human nature, and a master of his own tongue. So how do you become a sage of silence? It starts with the practice of mindful listening. When you are in a conversation, are you truly listening to the other person, or are you just waiting for your turn to speak? Are you trying to understand their perspective, or are you just trying to formulate your own rebuttal? The next time you are talking to someone, make a conscious effort to listen with your full attention. Don't interrupt. Don't judge. Just listen. You will be amazed at what you learn. The next step is to become comfortable with silence. You don't have to fill every pause in a conversation. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can say is nothing at all. Silence can be a sign of confidence, of thoughtfulness, of respect. It can create space for the other person to think, to feel, to open up. It can also be a powerful tool of negotiation and influence. The person who is more comfortable with silence often has the upper hand. You must also learn to be a guardian of your own words. Before you speak, ask yourself 3 questions. Is it true? Is it kind? Is it necessary? If the answer to any of these questions is no, then perhaps it is better to remain silent. The world does not need more noise. It needs more thoughtful, intentional speech. As the great inventor Leonardo da Vinci said, "Nothing strengthens authority so much as silence." Finally, you must cultivate inner silence. This is the practice of quieting the incessant chatter of your own mind. This is where meditation, mindfulness, and spending time in nature become so important. When you can quiet your mind, you can connect with a deeper part of yourself, a place of intuition, creativity, and profound peace. This is the source of true wisdom. The sage of silence is not a man who never speaks. He is a man who speaks with intention, with purpose, with wisdom. He is a man who understands that his words have power, and he uses them sparingly and effectively. He is a man who is as comfortable in the silence of his own company as he is in the midst of a crowd. This is the fourth cheat code, the one that will give you a quiet strength and a deep wisdom that few men ever attain. The fifth cheat code is one that most men actively avoid, yet it holds the key to a life of vibrancy, purpose, and urgency. It is the code of becoming the oracle of the end. This means living with a constant, quiet awareness of your own mortality. Most men live in a state of denial. They act as if they have an infinite amount of time, putting off their dreams, avoiding difficult conversations, and wasting their days on trivialities. They live as if they will get a second chance. But the man who activates this cheat code knows the truth. This life is not a dress rehearsal. The Roman philosopher Seneca wrote, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it." The awareness of death is not meant to be morbid or depressing. On the contrary, it is the ultimate tool for clarification. It is the fire that burns away the insignificant, leaving only what truly matters. When you remember that your time is finite, the fear of rejection, the sting of failure, the opinions of others, they all lose their power. How do you consult this oracle? You can begin each day with a simple question, a practice inspired by Steve Jobs, who said he looked in the mirror every morning and asked himself, if today were the last day of my life, would I want to do what I am about to do today? If the answer was no, for too many days in a row, he knew he needed to change something. This question cuts through the noise. It forces you to align your daily actions with your deepest values. Living with death as your advisor also cultivates a profound sense of gratitude. The simple act of breathing, the warmth of the sun, a conversation with a loved one, these moments become infinitely more precious when you realize they are not guaranteed. You stop taking life for granted and start truly living it. This code gives you courage. What is there to fear in asking for a raise, starting a business, or speaking your truth when you compare it to the finality of the end? The oracle of the end whispers in your ear, do not waste this moment. Do not leave your song unsung. It is the ultimate motivator, the ultimate prioritizer, and the ultimate source of freedom. By embracing the end, you finally learn how to truly begin. The sixth and final cheat code is what ties all the others together. It elevates self-mastery from a selfish pursuit to a noble purpose. This is the code of becoming the weaver of the web. It is the understanding that you are not an island, but an integral part of a vast, interconnected web of humanity. The modern world often promotes a myth of the self-made man, the lone wolf who succeeds through sheer force of will. But this is a dangerous illusion. The man who understands this final code knows that true strength and fulfillment are found not in isolation, but in connection and contribution. The Stoics called this concept sympathia, the belief that all things are mutually woven together and united. Marcus Aurelius put it beautifully. What is not good for the beehive cannot be good for the bee. Your own well-being is inextricably linked to the well-being of the whole. This is a radical shift in perspective. It moves you from a mindset of, what can I get? To what can I give? Why do you master your mind? So you can be a source of clarity and stability for others. Why do you become an alchemist of your emotions? So you can respond with compassion and understanding rather than reactivity. Why do you build discipline? So you have the strength and reliability to serve your family, your community, and your purpose. Becoming a weaver of the web means actively looking for ways to contribute. It can be as simple as offering a listening ear to a friend, mentoring someone younger, or being a pillar of support for your family. It means seeing every interaction as an opportunity to add value, to lift others up, to leave people in situations better than you found them. This code is the antidote to the emptiness that many successful men feel. They climb the ladder of achievement only to find that it's leaning against the wrong wall. They have mastered themselves, but for what? The weaver of the web knows the answer. The purpose of forging your own strength is to strengthen the entire web. Your personal development is not the end goal. It is the prerequisite for your contribution to the world. By becoming the best version of yourself, you become the best possible gift to humanity. This is the final cheat code, the one that transforms a good life into a great one. Now, before you go, let me tell you a story that will remind you that all these codes are not for show, but for the real, imperfect tests that life will throw your way. A master archer was demonstrating his skill to a crowd. He split arrow after arrow through the center of distant targets, each shot more impressive than the last. The crowd cheered and proclaimed him the greatest archer in the land. An old man in simple robes watched quietly from the back. When the demonstration ended, he approached the archer. "Impressive," the old man said. "But can you shoot with a cup of water balanced on your bow?" The archer scoffed. "Of course." He balanced the cup and drew his bow. The water trembled, and his arrow flew wide of the target. "Can you shoot while standing on one foot?" the old man asked. Again, the archer tried and missed. "Can you shoot while someone shouts in your ear?" Another miss. The crowd began to murmur. The archer's face reddened with frustration. "Who are you to test me, old man?" he demanded. The old man smiled. "I am no archer at all. I cannot even draw a bow. But I have learned that true mastery is not what you can do when everything is perfect. It is what you can do when everything is not. Like the archer in the story, it is easy to be strong, disciplined, and wise when life is calm and the targets are clear. But life is rarely so simple. It will add a cup of water to your bow. It will make you stand on one foot. It will shout in your ear. These 6 cheat codes are your training for those moments. They are not trophies to be polished and displayed in perfect conditions. They are the rugged tools you forge to remain steady when the world around you is shaking. The goal is not to wait for a perfect life to begin applying them. The goal is to apply them now in the midst of your imperfect life, and in doing so, to discover the unshakable master within. If you found this valuable, subscribe to our channel and join us on this journey of becoming the men we were meant to be. Until next time, stay strong, stay wise, and stay true to the path.